Hey, what's up, guys? Let's get into this. So what I'm gonna be doing is gonna be drawing a monster, kind of sideways, four-legged monster. I'm gonna draw it in profile right now. I'm gonna do another demo of me, kind of a three-quarter view. Front view looks really damn ugly. I mean, really ugly. Like usually, and for a four-legged creature, like you don't see a centaur straight up front very often. It'll just look like it's on two legs. Usually, it's like a three-quarter or a profile view. So I'm gonna be drawing a monster, and let's. So the thing about this is it might take a little. This is gonna be a longer demo. I don't want to fast forward almost any of it, so that's a big part of it. I'm using a straight ballpoint pen right now, just to kind of give you an example of this. You don't have to use anything fancy, obviously. I think that you can do something fancy, and it'd be, you can use something fancy because you start to get picky out of nowhere. But I want to do it in this just to show you that it's not a big deal. So, so I haven't even thought about what kind of monster. I just want it to be on four legs. That's the only requirement. Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? I'm Enrique. Hello. Welcome again to this channel. So today I want to go over how to draw a monster face. So I'm going to go over a couple little things that I think about when I'm doing it, and then I'm going to do about roughly 2 to 3 of them just for you, so I can kind of talk about it of different types. So the first thing I think about when, by the way, I'm using a regular pen, completely regular. This is something I picked up. It's like ballpoint pen, just something random that just came in the package of like 100 or something, like real generic stuff you sign stuff with. So when I'm thinking about like a monster head, I'm gonna do 3. I'm usually trying to think of like, there's many different designs you can do, but what I'm always thinking about, almost always, would be the skeletal structure underneath. Like, is it gonna have an elongated head, similar to a maybe a this is gonna be in profile, by the way. It's gonna look off that way. And then I think of kind of the eye sockets and where that's going to be. Is this going to be one of those, like, right now I'm kind of thinking of an elongated skull, very similar to, those alien types, the very typical aliens they show. Ear canal. This one I want to make it very similar to a human. It's going to have a nasal cavity, but very small nasal cavity. And I'm thinking about that, just like very much like the skull stuff. And I want to have a large amount of teeth, which is like stuff I always do that stuff. Maybe I'm just drawing this loosely in. This guy's gonna have so much teeth that's gonna be kind of crossing over each other, kind of like a reptile in a way. And then I'm thinking about what kind of eyes I want it to have. I want it to have humanoid eyes, and what would be this guy's story? I'm thinking this is a monster, right? So he's gonna be maybe like a big goon, temple guard. I want him to have this crazy jaw, this masseter over here. He's obviously bad. I'm gonna give him like an ear. I'm gonna give him a smaller ear, and that's only to kind of bring some scale to it. I'm just kind of throwing wispy lines for positioning. And I'm thinking, so I think of a few name features, and I want to build off that. Right now, I'm thinking of humanoid eyes. Kind of it's humanoid, kind of a humanoid nose, but smaller, maybe animalistic nose. I'm gonna start rendering this stuff out. But cheekbones, I want a definitely semi-crocodile mouth in a way, where they're kind of overlapping each other. And I want this guy to, I'm gonna have his ear up here, maybe elf-like ear. And I want him to have like a monster neck. I was going to be like a strong temple guard type. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm going to try to render this stuff out, and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to take breaks in between these speed ups so I can talk about what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm going into his face, and I'm kind of pulling out like some. I'm thinking crocodile. Trying to keep this a little bit of a point. I'm also thinking. Part of me is thinking maybe a little bit ape-like. You know what I mean? Because there's the space between his nose and his mouth is so large because it is extended. I'm trying to keep this masseter large when I do that. Because when I'm moving things around, you start arranging stuff. You're starting to make sense of these lines. I start to kind of, question myself, and I'm like, oh no, should I do this? Or oh no, should I do that? So I'm trying not to actually do that. I'm trying to actually kind of, solidify things and not change things around, because as you're going along, you will try to change stuff for the design of it. And design is a really important thing. Also, I'm throwing a lot of these little nick marks everywhere, and these are to kind of describe the form. Without it, there's blank, right? Like just the blank of the paper. But if you put something next to it, but don't join up the line all the way, you kind of just start indicating up and down this thing, your mind will fill in the gaps, for example. It will think it's going all the way around. Plus, when we talk about cranial masses, you talk about the skeleton through the skin. It's not going to show entirely through, parts of the body like your elbow. I mean, obviously the what is this called? Side of the forehead. There are little landmarks, and landmarks are parts of the bone that are very close to the skin, meaning like stuff like the forehead here. Like I said, the elbow, the joints right here. You can see how you can see the bone very close to the surface. It affects it. But right here, my palm, the squishy part, that's not really a bone, right? I mean, that's not a landmark because it's squishy. That's the bone isn't very close to the surface. Just stuff like the joints, stuff that you can see it peeking. And that helps you kind of put stuff together too. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished with this sketch. This is just a sketch of a head. He's starting to look a lot like Baraka from Mortal Kombat, if not exactly like him. I just started realizing that, and I was like, dang. But it's a common archetype I've seen. Like, if you look at Croc from Batman, he has that same kind of look to him, and some versions. Let's put an eye in there. Yeah, it gives him some personality. I do also like the blank eye look, though. I really like that as well. Well, that's pretty much it for this sketch. Let's start on the next one. Okay, so let's start the next one. The next one I'm thinking it's going to be octopus based. It's not going to be so much a humanoid face. And it's also like a very common kind of thing I see in movies. If you ever see that movie Blade 2, or I forget, just stuff like, you know, Cthulhu, or, you know, things like Squidward from Futurama, or even the God, who was that pirate guy? Blackbeard or something? I forget who it was. It was the pirate guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. The tentacle mouth thing is really common. Predator. Let's see. I should go in soft and I start ghosting stuff out. Maybe I'll put like an eye in the middle. Might be too many accessories facially, but we'll see. I'm trying to stay as loose as I can because it's going to get tighter as I tighten up the drawing. You know, stay looser, and it's kind of like a good trick. It's going to be straight up front too. That's why I wanted this kind of, you know, not quite symmetrical thing, because I think symmetrical up front would be too boring. It would just be me doing both sides. I'm trying to make the eyes different from that one, so maybe I'll give them a little bit more of a, maybe smaller eye type, maybe more fish-like. More bags under the eyes. I'll probably have the eyes totally black on this one. Give him an eye up there, and then maybe some color blotches. I used to maybe, you know, what do you call that? Used to camouflage, and maybe some horns up here, just because I feel like it. Tiny horns. The hard part's going to be the tentacles up front. I'm trying to work out what it is that I'm thinking when I'm doing it. I'm kind of thinking of all these little tubes. I gotta think of these things as tubes, and I remember that it has both sides. It has the suction cup side, and it has the flat, kind of smooth side. And then it's the inside of his mouth there, whatever's going on. A lot of his, you're thinking in simple shapes, which is pretty much exactly what I'm thinking in right now. Thinking in simple shapes is pretty much dire for almost everything. I don't want to give this guy too mean of a look. I mean, he's going to be mean, but he already has the big brow. I want to not have that. Even though it's a good design element, there's a lot of designs with a big brow. This guy's not going to have ears, though. That's probably why I'm going to give him just horns, even though a lot of things usually have both. Maybe some cheekbones, but not too much. I think it's gonna break up the image too much. So I think I have a decent, pretty decent land. This is gonna be all, I mean, out front of his chest, I guess. I don't know. This gonna be a pretty big dude too, but I'm just gonna put his neck over here to make it seem, show the rest of his face. I'm gonna be blocking everything. These tentacles here. And then I'm gonna work on this a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward, and then we are gonna come back and talk about what I was doing. Okay, I think for the most part this guy's okay for a sketch. I put a decent amount. I tried to put some cast shadow enough so you could kind of slightly understand the shapes enough to, tell what it is. A lot of the detail went in with more scribbly, like loose hand. To like zoom right up, it'd just be like a little, little swirls and stuff. And I put this shadow, the inner shadow would be the mouth itself. Kind of darken that up, darken the eye there. That's pretty much it for that one. I might, right here, bolden some of the outlines. Yeah, just to kind of so you can tell what's in front of the other. Make this line a little bit bold, make some of these lines a little bit bolder. Maybe even put this entire lower part into slight shadow pattern so that to kind of get rid of the focus of down there. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so I'm continuing to kind of go through this drawing, and what I want to do is I'm going to have some cast shadow come down, and I'm mostly like indicating these tentacles for the most part. I'm not pulling full detail. This is still a sketch, but I'm going to go in, try to work this out and kind of try to shade a little bit more, even out the head a little bit here. For the most part, I'm going to go deep in, and I'm putting, again, these little scratch marks to indicate surface. You know, even toward the middle here, I'm putting these little things. These forms are supposed to be direction. Everything is supposed to be kind of, well, this is more of like color fill to show there's some sort of pattern. I'm going to put them over here to make sure they're going around the corner, so it reads a little bit more believable than just that on its own. And then, yeah, just going to continue to nick at it, push it. Yeah, these top tentacles are going to cast a shadow onto the bottom tentacles. So I'm going to put a light, kind of flavor it up here. Alright, I'm going to continue to go into this, and then I'll talk to you after I'm done with essentially with this head. But I mean, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's start on this last head. I'm going to be kind of thinking a little bit more on the horns of this guy. I don't have to go totally off the page though, but I mean, it will go a little bit. Will it go a little bit? I kind of like it pointed up. Not really sure yet. It's going to be profile on the other side, on the other view. I'm going to give this guy more of a overbite, because I give the guy more of an underbite. Underbite looks cool for some reason. It just looks like, I don't know, more menacing. I give this guy more of a semi-animal look. Again, it's going to be profile, so. Not really sure what I want. I'm thinking, I know I want sharp teeth, but I don't want it to be all giant and huge. I might even think more of a lamb kind of thing. I don't know, I'm thinking like animalizing the face a little bit. It's definitely still going to be a bad guy, more demon-esque. It was those, not always, like I'm giving it cheekbones like the other guy. So I'm thinking more of like a kind of a satanic cult kind of thing going on. His head's gonna be up there a little bit. Maybe some turkey neck here going on. Alright, I have a general, see I have a general form. I know I want this to be a horn. I know his nose is going to be kind of animal, almost lamb-like nose in a way, and then slightly more overbite, lower jaw, and then maybe some turkey neck and another horn down here coming out the side. So I'm going to work on this, I'm going to push through it, and then I'm going to, talk about it in between. I was about to say. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to like actually differentiate the texture between the horn. I want the horn to look more like rock, the horns, and then the actual kind of face. You know, the only way to do that is to kind of like make something look angular and something not so angular. So I'm just still trying to work on that. I'm going to work on it a little bit more because it is still at a sketch level, and I'm going to leave it as a sketch level. Then I will come back and I'll talk to you guys. So let me keep pushing through this. Okay, so I'm pretty much finished with this. I want to make this horn right here look like it's coming out of his skin, so I'm going to put little kind of creases around it. And then I'm going to put a little value to make it look a little bit more dimensional. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to throw a little bit of value to kind of give it some dimension. And that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to do more stuff later. I'm going to probably go over individual features of more monstrous types later on. If you guys have anything else you want to go over, please let me know. Otherwise, please like the video, share this video. That's a big part of it, sharing the video, you know, on Facebook or Twitter, and I'll see you later.